What is going on YouTube? It is Devin the Day Trader back with another video. At the time of me recording this, it is currently Thursday, June 20th at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as you guys can see here, new all-time highs on the SPY. Who would have thunk it? I definitely didn't expect it to come this quick, but the fact that it did is pretty amazing. Especially because we broke above these two candles from Wednesday and Tuesday. And honestly, I'm not really surprised that we're getting a little bit of a sell-off considering that we're at all-time highs. Because if you can see from back here on the 1st of May, we also made new all-time highs before just selling straight off all day. So that was really the motivation for my trade today. And ignore this lower wick right here. For some reason, there were some price miscalculations on pretty much every charting software. So we didn't necessarily fill that gap. That gap is still not filled, but we made a good run at it. So in case you guys are wondering, today is a pretty substantial green day for me. I needed a day like this really bad because the last time I had a trade over $10 after commissions was back on June 5th. So if you guys watched my video yesterday, then I kind of predicted this one was coming. As I said, all we need is one good, strong, solid day of volatility, and I'll be able to cash in on that movement. So roughly about 0.5 Rs on the day, not really. I cleaned up my trading stats so you guys can see a little bit more about what I'm going through and my overall profit loss. After this trade today, I am now at 11 wins and 8 losses, which bring my win-loss ratio up to about 58% since switching my account over to Tastyworks. And the ridiculous thing about this, and the thing that I just noted yesterday, is that this so far, if I never moved brokerages, this would have been my only win in the past month. Because E-Trade's commissions are so high at like $15.44 per option trade. So that's really awesome to see that switching a brokerage was able to improve my overall gains by that much. So far, we're up about 0.75 Rs on the month for a $30 gain. Not the best, not the worst, but the most important thing is that we turn this red week into a green week. And I'm going to play a little bit of cautious tomorrow just because it is a Friday, and I don't want to go back to being red on the week. That would suck, especially after a move like today. So yeah, a little bit about my account. As you guys can see here, started at 3,000, currently at 29.44. So slowly but steadily getting right back up to that $3,000 account balance. And I know I'm going to hit there. Mark my words, I'm going to get back to break even. So let me go over with the trade that I took today. It was on the SPY, and you guys are going to have to bear with me because my free trial did run out on TradingView. So it's going to be a little bit more sloppier than what you guys are normally used to me doing. So I'm gonna really rig this here. So don't laugh at me. I'll have to probably get a new trial sooner or later anyways. So pretty much what happened, we opened up here and not much happened. You know, we were sort of forming a triangle pattern on the 5-minute chart. And this is going to be sloppy. I should have just left my drawings up there. But here was the triangle pattern that we were forming. So I knew we were either going to break above it, and if we broke above it, I was going to wait for some reversal midday. And if we broke below it, I was going to wait for some form of retest along the previous low of day. So we ended up breaking the trend line. We traded down and traded back up. And originally my entry was going to be right here at this level on the candle at 10:25 a.m. But I wasn't really too sure where we were going to be heading at that point. And with hindsight being 2020, today could have been an easily $60 gain if I ended up taking that position the way I said it would. I put in my entry for, I don't remember the exact option price. I think it was a $2.93 put at this Friday's expiration at 51, or no, I put my order at 50 cents and it went to as low as 51. So it never actually triggered me. So that was kind of a bummer, and the trade that I ended up taking was more likely based on FOMO, but it ended up working out. So again, still got to be cautious with the fear of missing out because that's basically 3 trades in a row that I have taken strictly off my emotion, and I just got to keep that in mind. So I missed this retest right there. So the next point in mind that I figured would have been the second best entry would have been a retest off of the low of this green candle right here, especially given all the volume that we had and the breakdown that just ensued after. So if I continue to play a few more candles, my entry was about right here. And let me percentage that out because it was messing up. Alright, so this was my entry. I got in about, I'm pretty sure it was like 27 or something like that. Like on the nearly like a penny above whatever that was right there. So this was my entry. My stop was above the high of day at about 296.40. And if I'm being honest with you guys, I didn't really necessarily have a target. Ultimately, I wanted it to trade down to 294, this 50 exponential moving average right there. I put that as a target. That's the stop right there. Originally, I wanted it to come down and hit the 50 exponential moving average, but I just wanted to feel the trade out and see how it was reacting before, you know, I set pretty unrealistic targets. Because that would have been a full like $1.25 move lower. So that was my entry right there at about 10:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if we play out, for a quick second, we ended up getting to a high of about 295.47, and at this point I was down like $6. So that was kind of disconcerting because, like I said, it wouldn't have bothered me too bad if we ended up retesting 295.60 again, which was the low of this candle. But I really didn't want it to happen because expiration was so soon and my strike price was so far away. I knew that theta was going to play a pretty big role in the option decay itself. So the next candle that comes in, a very gorgeous candle. This candle definitely eliminated all doubts that I had in this trade because this was a 35-cent down move, and we closed below the low of day. So I was feeling really comfortable with this trade, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to hold it. I'm going to see what happens. After yesterday's mishap of me holding the trade for too long and taking away about 0.3 Rs of gain, I was like, I have to hold this. So continue playing it. Again, if you guys have been listening to my video, it is not uncommon that once we get a pretty big directional move in one 5-minute candle, chances are that we're going to end up retesting halfway through that, which is what we did. This candle ended up retesting a little bit further than halfway, but it still ended up working out because we got a really strong upper wick, which indicated a lot of selling pressure. So at this point, I'm still long, still holding. That 50 EMA is still my target. So if I continue to move this along, a pretty strong green bullish candle here. At this point, I was up about like $3, so I was like, I'm just going to hold it. If I lose, I lose. No big deal. At this point, I really wanted to move my stop down to 295.60, which is above this little pivot point right here at 10:50 a.m., because if we were able to break above that candle and close, then this would look like some form of a double bottom pattern. But I know how that goes with me moving my stop down early enough when I'm not that green. I normally end up getting triggered out before we reverse lower. But that was not the case. The next candle to come in, another strong bearish candle to close below this strong bullish candle right here with loads of volume. So still feeling pretty confident. The next candle to come in, continuing lower. And at this point, I took my stop, and that's when I decided to move it down to this level right here. I was feeling pretty confident at that point that we weren't going to reverse higher. And if we were, I was probably going to take the position off before I hit my stop anyways. So that candle came in, and then this next candle right here, I decided to take everything off at 294.80. I just didn't feel comfortable with the position anymore. If you guys can see here, we posted a tweezer bottom, which is a strong bullish candle or a bearish candle, followed by a pretty decent sized bullish candle that have the same exact lows. So that means that we're coming down, and then there's some buying to get that base happening. So I didn't want to start screaming higher after being up. And at this point, at the lows of these two candles, I was up about $25. So I was talking to myself a little bit, and I figured that $20, that's 0.5 Rs. I'll be happy with that trade. And then If I fast forward to real time, pretty solid exit if you ask me. I missed out on an additional $10 down at this low right here, but what can you do? I mean, there's no point crying over 10 bucks. I took the meat of the move. I did the best that I could do, and that's the only thing that really matters. So really happy with how I traded this. All in all, with hindsight being 2020, it was a pretty solid entry, if I do say myself. Not as solid as the retest of this low right here, but nonetheless, I'm still very satisfied with how I traded. If we retest this gap, if we refill it, I'm not too sure if we will. This market, after all, is still very strong after the Fed left the rates unchanged and after the central bank talks, so there's that. But other than that, I haven't really been looking. I did see Tesla. I almost took a position on Tesla. So if we switch off to the daily chart, this is a gap and go pattern, a green candle gapping down, but it didn't really trade like one. We got the quick move down, and then we traded up to retest the gap to fill that before rolling over. And if you guys take a close look, we kind of have a double bottom pattern that formed, and we did retest the neckline off of this candle right here at 10:40 a.m. So that could have been another solid trade if you like trading Tesla. Your entry could have been the retest of the neckline. It wouldn't have tapped it to the penny, but it came close enough if you were to try to really get the best possible fill. A stop at 227.50, right above the high of day, and pretty much after the Fed rates. So nearly a $4 stop. I mean, that's pretty substantial, but Tesla is known for some pretty gargantuan moves. And then with the target, you could have put a target towards low of day. Completely up to you. That's probably what I would have done. And it would have almost worked out. You would have almost gotten a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio on that trade. And that was something else that would have worked out pretty well. But other than that, not too much going on. SPY at all-time highs. I'm sure the rest of the market, the Dow and the Qs, will be the next to follow. But who knows? I don't think the move higher is over yet. I still think we got a tad bit more juice in us, especially if we're able to gap over this candle tomorrow, which might be a probability because everybody who is short selling up here at the high, if we gap above this level right here, absolutely everybody who shorted that is going to get trapped, and they're going to be nervous because if we gap above this, we're seeing 300. Without a doubt in my mind, we're seeing 300. But it's also a possibility that we do trade a little bit lower to retest the 10 exponential moving average because we still are $5 above that level, and I think it's only a probability before we end up retesting that. And when we do, I'll switch all my bearish positions to bullish because for the past week and a half, every single position I've taken has been bullish, I'm pretty sure. I mean bearish. So really just waiting for a retest, seeing what will happen. I think 290 will be a phenomenal support to try to get a few quick scalps and back up to the high of, or the all-time highs. But you never know until you know. I think that's going to be it for me today. If you guys liked what you heard, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for all the support that I've been getting on these videos recently. I think the video I posted on Tuesday is over 60 views, which is pretty crazy. I didn't really start making these videos for views. I kind of started making them to really recap my trades and have a log of what I've been doing throughout the day. So if I go back on my monthly trading chart and I see that, well, this day I was down 30, 40 bucks. What happened? How can I do to improve that? There will be video evidence of what I could have done to make that position better. So if you are new, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Follow me along for this life-changing journey. I would really appreciate it. Make sure to like the video if you did take something useful away from today's lesson. And if there's anything that I could have done to potentially get a better trade on the SPYs, better than the one that I had, make sure to leave that in the comment section below as well. I am still relatively new to trying to day trade, so anybody who has experience and has been doing this for longer than I have, your support and your feedback would be much appreciated. That's it for me on the day. Again, I hope to see you all tomorrow with another midday market review and trade recap. Thank you guys for your time. Bye.